Today we're going to talk about getting ready for kindergarten. It seems like a crazy thing to even think about that when your child is just like a year old or 2 years old. But actually that's when kindergarten readiness begins. When your child enters kindergarten, some of the things that they'll be expected to do would be to be able to cut with scissors, to button their clothes and get them, be able to dress themselves. They should be able to attempt to get their shoes tied or at least get their shoes on and put the Velcro on. Zipping zippers, putting together puzzles, holding a pencil and a marker and being able to write at least the beginning stages of their name. All of these skills develop over time, but they really begin in the second year of life. And so I just wanted to talk to you today about some of those fine motor skills that are necessary so that your child will be ready when they go to kindergarten when they are 5 years old. So first of all, one thing that we need to understand about fine motor development is that, or all development, is that it begins in the core and it moves out. And so what we see is a baby will learn to, roll and, get themselves moving around and everything. They learn to use their big body before they learn to use their fingers and hands. And so as this development goes from the inside out to the hands and fingers and feet and toes, then your child will just begin to practice the things that they will need to learn how to do eventually to just get on with life. And so I'm going to just show you a few activities that you can do with your infant and toddler and young preschooler and to help them develop those fine motor skills. I just have a few toys here that are very common toys and just talk a little bit about how these things develop these skills. First of all, markers. I've talked a little bit about writing with you before, but putting a mark on a page requires that a child hold the pen and make it work. One thing that kindergarten teachers tell us is that children, when they arrive in kindergarten, don't know how to hold a pen properly. And so this is because they just haven't had the practice. And so you need to give your kid lots of practice with a pen or a pencil or a marker to learn how to hold it. They will not hold it like this at first. They will hold it probably like this, and that's perfectly fine. But as you give them lots of practice using these little fingers, then they will eventually, with lots of practice, they will begin to hold the pen like this. It's not something that you will necessarily teach them. It's just that you give them plenty of opportunity to do it. Another thing that a child will need to be able to do is use scissors. Now, these are the very first scissors that you should give to your child. These are very safe. They will not cut fabric. They won't cut hair, but they will cut paper. They won't cut plastic. They won't cut much, but they will cut a piece of paper. And so these are the great ones to give to your child. Just give them a pair of scissors. You might just show them how to do it. Put their little fingers in and show them how to move them. And then just put them out and let them experiment with them. You could give them different kinds and different weights of paper to practice with. You can even give them Play-Doh to cut. Aluminum foil is kind of easy to cut. I don't know if these scissors would cut foil, but they will definitely cut Play-Doh. Another thing that is a good toy for kids is just these simple pop beads. It takes a little bit of strength to put these in, and certainly it takes some eye-hand coordination to put the hole and the peg together to make them work. And so this is a good one, and I know that you have seen lots of different versions of this particular toy. These pop beads are pretty big and sturdy. It would take a lot of them to make a circle to put around your neck. Some of the pop beads are a little bit smaller and more flexible, and they're nice as well. Another standard toy for infants and toddlers is a shape sorter. I love this one because it is designed for really young children. It only has 4 options. So many of our shape sorters have, 8 or 10 different options and shapes. That's too advanced for your infant and toddler. You want to have one that's really simple like this with the blocks that go in. And here's a hint, they will learn to do the circle first and they will just put that out. Shape sorters are a really fun toy, and your child will be able to do lots with it besides just put the shapes in the right place. They'll learn to dump it and fill it and dump it and fill it. They can take the lid off themselves, and they can play with the blocks. They can stack them and stuff. So it's a great toy. And the last one I have to show you is a puzzle. This is a great fine motor development toy. Their little fingers. This one is nice. It has the knobs to help them pick it up. But, just putting this in the right spot will take some time for a little one to figure out. Of course, it's all very experimental at first, and then they'll become intentional about putting it right in the right space when they learn to match the shape and the puzzle piece, the shape of the hole with the puzzle piece. So puzzles are always a great toy, and they do work on your fine motor development. So one question that you might have is, does a phone or a tablet support this fine motor development with your child? And the answer probably is no, even though, you wish that it would help. But the motions that a child uses with their fingers, just that swiping motion and tapping, is not exactly going to develop their coordination or the strength of their hand. The phone is good in certain situations. I would suggest that you not use it as much as you might want to, but to think that that is developing their skills, it's probably not doing the same good job that these other toys are doing. So these skills do develop naturally. There's nothing that you need to do to teach your child how to use their fingers and hands. All you need to do to make this important component of development actually happen is just to give them the toys to play with, plenty of time and space and company as they play with them, because they'll be a lot more apt to play with their toys with you sitting beside them than if they are sitting there alone with the toys. And so I encourage you to have fun with your kid, work on those little small motor development skills, and then they will be ready to run when they get to kindergarten.